Alright, so just kind of kicking off the Tarantino retrospective of films he's written and directed. And this is probably the most obscure one, and well, let's just get into it. Four Rooms is a comedy with 4 vignettes. You get 4 directors to write and direct their own little vignette for the movie. Then you're gonna put it all together and see how it works. And it stars Tim Roth as Ted the Bellhop. He's the main character of this. He's gonna be in all 4 vignettes. And so you get the 4 vignettes, The Missing Ingredient, which is about his encounter with a coven of witches, and it's directed by Allison, and probably my least favorite of the vignettes, because it's just nothing really happens. I mean, Tim Roth is like getting the job and stuff, and then the witches just kind of doing their thing. You get some boobies, and then Tim Roth gets his little involvement in the thing, and it's done. It's like nothing happens really. It's just kind of, it was boring to me, and yeah, it's my least favorite. The only thing otherwise I can point out about The Missing Ingredient is that you got like Madonna running around there. She's not a very good actress. And then there's a couple other actresses. I don't know any of them though, unfortunately. Then you get the Wrong Man segment directed by Alexandre Rockwell, and this one was a little more interesting. It was weird, man. Ted is supposed to bring ice up to this room, and he goes to the wrong room, and it's like this husband and wife, and he's like got her tied up, and he's got a big gun, and he thinks Ted slept with his wife or something. And yeah, it's creepy. It's got the creep factor, it's got the weird factor, but then how it ends, it makes me think, well, what the hell? Because then Ted does escape, and he walks out, and then this other guy walks in there, and then it seems like the same thing's happening with that guy. I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's just weird. It's okay. It's kind of creepy and interesting, but that's kind of it. It's just creepy and weird. And in The Wrong Man, you got Jennifer Beals as the wife, and you got David Proval as the husband, and he was creepy, man. That's a weird segment. Then you get the next one directed by Robert Rodriguez, The Misbehaviors, where Ted ends up looking after Antonia Banderas' 2 kids, and they misbehave, and a lot of weird stuff goes on, but it's more of a funny way, not like The Wrong Man where it's just creepy. Yeah, these are some bad kids. Antonia Banderas was awesome in the segment, and the 2 kids were pretty funny. Ted, though, I mean, for all these segments, Tim Roth, the first 2, he's like really manic. He's got a weird walking way. He's like bobbing his head a lot. He's doing weird arm movements. I'm like, what the hell is going on with Ted? Like, he just had weird mannerisms to him. And it continues in this one, and then into the next one is where it kind of dies down a little. But yeah, he's got just weird way of walking stuff, and he's flipping out at this point after all that's happened to him, and he just hates these kids and stuff. It was pretty funny. I thought it was a good segment. And it actually, no, I would say it's probably my favorite segment. So yeah, it was the funniest of them. And then you get Tarantino's The Man from Hollywood. And this segment is somewhere in the middle, because I mean, I hated the witches one, and then the Wrong Man was just a weird one. The Misbehavior is probably the funniest one I enjoyed most. This is probably my second favorite, although kind of nothing does really happen, but for the most part, but when something does happen, it's pretty interesting. You get Ted, he's about ready to quit after all these segments, and then he phones up like his boss, and you get Marissa Tomei as like a stoned out chick, and then you get Kathy Griffin as his boss, and she tells him, just treat this Hollywood guy right, and then you can do whatever you want, you can leave. And so he goes up there. Quentin Tarantino stars as the Hollywood producer guy, and you also got Bruce Willis as one of his buddies, and he's got another buddy, and Jennifer Beals from The Wrong Man, she's also up there. And so yeah, that just adds to the weirdness of what the hell was going on with The Wrong Man. Why is she like just able to leave? And it's just a weird segment, and it goes into the other ones. although it's not my favorite segment, it's the most well filmed because regardless of Tarantino's acting, it's like a really long take from basically once he arrives at the room, and he's talking to Tarantino, and you see Bruce Willis in this room having an argument with his wife and stuff, and all the other people in the room. It's like one long shot, like it doesn't cut. It's really well improvised, I guess, because although it was written, it seemed like a lot of improv too. And it was just really well done. Because I mean, The Misbehaviors was the funniest, but this one was the most well shot. And it had a good end to the thing. Well, the acting in this movie was fine. The writing, pretty uneven. I mean, the two segments I kind of didn't like, and two that I did like. And they did okay with connecting the segments and all. Ted the Bellhop's a weird character, though, like his weird mannerisms and stuff. I would have to say this is probably Tarantino's worst film, but it's not his fault. It's like a 4-director segment thing. So you want to say a segment's bad, okay. But yeah. And so all in all, just I'm not going to pick on the fact that it feels uneven because it is 4 different vignettes with the same character. It's not like they all have to write the same type of thing. They're all really different. But yeah, this didn't really work for me. I mean, Tarantino's part was well shot, and Robert Rodriguez was pretty funny, but the other two just didn't work for me, and even the two that I liked weren't like super awesome, so it's not a very good movie. I'd probably have to give it a C-. You get 2 entertaining vignettes, 2 crappy ones, and it's okay for one watch, but it doesn't have like rewatchability. Like, I'm not going to go out and buy the 4 Rooms Blu-ray because I don't want it. And I don't even know if it's included on that, that Tarantino collection thing that came out a while ago, the big box set. I don't even know if it came on that. But you get other movies on there like True Romance. That's another thing, True Romance. I'm not going to review that, and I'm not going to review From Dusk Till Dawn. Like the ones that he wrote but didn't direct, I'll leave those. And maybe I'll talk about some other time. And I feel like I should have left this off, but he did direct it, even though it's a vignette. But just not a terrible movie, but it's not all that great. So you almost could just skip it. So yeah. So if you like the review, you can like, subscribe, and check out my other Tarantino reviews like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. And I guess up next will be Jackie Brown and then the Kill Bill movies. So yeah, that I can talk about some really good movies next. That's awesome. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.